Hey guys, Brian here. I'm back with another vacuum related video on YouTube. Um, the Vacuum Archive page on Facebook has just posted 11 new photos of more advertisements. And so I figured I'd share that with you because I know the last video I did with Vacuum Archive, showing, I think they did advertisements, but I think there was also a bunch of photos of other vacuums like Eureka and Hoover. And I figured since I just noticed this at around 12:30 at midnight or a little bit past midnight, so it's pretty late. I'd figure I'd show it here. Like the first one is the Hoover Porta Power. I actually used a commercial version of the Porta Power when I was a janitor at Bridge Valley Community Technical College in Charleston, West Virginia, when I lived in West Virginia with my aunt, and that was actually one of the jobs that I actually enjoyed doing. I think that I took joy in doing. Um, I pride myself in hard work and having a clean college, and but I remember using something like this, before. It was a commercial version, so it had a stretch hose, and I think the floor and rug nozzle was a little different. Um, it is a handy little canister. In that, if you have quick messes, or if you're just, like if you're doing a lot of above floor cleaning, um, this vacuum will work great, for that job. Or if you're cleaning bare floors. I mean, if you're cleaning a lot of bare floors, this is a straight suction, you know, you could probably, you can easily use it uh, on that. I don't think it's going to replace like a full size upright. This is kind of like, some similar machines, or like, Oric has I think they call it Buster B canister vacuum, which is very similar. But this is one of Hoover's, I think this is one of Hoover's iconic vacuums or models that they had. And I love it. I love that little part. One part they add says, "See it at your Hoover dealer." Nowadays, it would be like, "See it at your local Kmart or local Walmart." Yeah, they really don't emphasize on dealers a whole lot anymore, which is a shame because, hell, I mean, if they actually emphasize, seeing the dealers, well, yeah, I guess times change. There's another one. I think this is the Hoover Power Drive. Basically, a more, I guess it's probably called Dial-O-Matic Power Drive. I would call it. You know, Not to be confused with the later Power Drive that you see in the '90s. Later on in the '90s, I think this is a little bit more of the Dial-O-Matic Power Drive. And let me read through here. It doesn't say anything about it being clean air, but I think it is a clean air model. I think because it looks like a Dial-O-Matic, and the Dial-O-Matic was Hoover's first uh, clean air upright. Actually, I think I said clean air. If I said direct air, then that's a mix-up. That's an error. The Dial-O-Matic was the first clean air upright vacuum made by Hoover. I think it was the first clean air vacuum ever on the market. And it's a clean air upright, not only that, but it's still apparently using it used. I'm sorry, not apparently used. It did use. Sorry, I use apparently as a lot as a habit for some reason. It does use an all steel agitator that really helps. Um, as it says, beats as it sweeps as it cleans, or as it just says, beats as it sweeps. Anyway, that's an old slang needs to have. Maybe I'm just getting tired and just rambling on. Anyway, um, but you don't see that a whole lot on most vacuums anymore. Like an agitator that has an actual beater bar and that's all steel. Most of the time, the vacuums you get that have a steel agitator tend to be within several $100, almost $1,000. So they're pretty expensive. I guess, and actually, apparently, this ad that's describing the vacuum is told from the view of a housewife. Her name is Betty. I think it says Betty Still, and I believe that's the lady in this photo here. I'm guessing that's her husband. You know, she looks pretty young. Anyway, that's another neat vacuum. Um, that was made back in the day. The slogan is System Hoover, the number one name in vacuum cleaners. Yeah, it used to be number one. Oh, there's the other slogan. America trusts Hoover to take good care of its homes. Used to. I say used to because I remember, I guess I kind of remember back then, you know, when Hoover was still, well, of course I don't, can't say I remember because I would have to be really, really old. But I heard, um, or read through articles from Vacuum Dealers Trade Association website. I think Tom Gasco. Um, I think that Hoover used to be one of those door to door dealerships, you know, brands that they would go knock on the door, you know, and they would do a demonstration at that home, and that's how they sold vacuums. Like I guess you can see in this ad here, like this print ad here. I think this is was made. This vacuum model they show in this ad was made at the time that had, you know, salesmen going door to door and selling machines. And it's kind of interesting that this upright features a whole bunch of attachments. I think back then, I'm pretty sure there's people that still had or still used an upright for the carpets and rugs, and then used like a canister to find everything else. Um, so, but it's still pretty interesting, and I bet you, and hold on, let me scroll what that model is. It says, I think it says Model 25. Model 25. Cleaner alone, $65. Cleaning tools, $14.50. $125 a week. Available monthly small carrying charge. Which, let me look that up. Well, actually, hold on. I can't. Well, actually, no, I can't really because I don't know when this adder was released or when they sold the Model 25. Though I'm pretty sure $65. You think, oh my god, that sounds cheap. No, they were expensive. I'm pretty sure $65. I mean, back then was probably, you know, I'm pretty sure it was the equivalent of probably several hundred or maybe 1,000. Today, you know, today's, you know, you know, based off of inflation. So, but like I said, the Hoover back then was, of course, you know, the top brand to buy. Like if you had to get a vacuum, the absolute best that you could buy was Hoover. And I'm pretty sure even back then, when they still sold the Porta Power and the Dial-O-Matic, the power drive, that maybe that it was still considered like one of the best. You know, like you have to get a Hoover. There's another ad for another Hoover, and I'm not sure. Well, it doesn't say what model it is, but there's that slogan I was referring to. It beats as it sweeps as it cleans, and I'm not sure if they had beater bars on these yet or what, but they might have. But I can definitely tell you that, you know, of course, Hoover, when they was the first to patent the brush roll, they were first to introduce the brush roll, and of course back then they were for a little while. Hoover was the only brand that had a brush roll. Eureka did not have a brush roll nor airway, so all the rest were straight suction machines. So, of course, Hoover had the dominance in the market because, of course, they had a brush roll. They had an agitator, or a beater brush, as you may call it. The other ones didn't. Now, until the brush roll patent expired, then everybody else jumped on using a brush roll because, it's business smarts. There's a very good fact. Suction alone can get rug dirt out. And 85% of the dirt in your home is right there in your rug. It takes 2 other cleaning actions plus suction to keep your rugs fresh and bright, more germ-free, more moth-free, and to protect rug life. You get all 3 in a triple action Hoover cleaner. I guess the beats and sweeps is the cleans part. I think triple action, of course, you might have been asked, might wonder what do you mean by triple action. Of course, is the beating action. That's one of the actions. The other action is sweeping, having a brush, grooming the carpet, sweeping the fibers, helping loosen up the dirt, and then the suction pulling it away. There's a little illustration of a rug nozzle. And it says in the asterisk, suction alone can get only rug dirt on or near the surface. And that's pretty much a fact. And for example, my Model 51 Aerodyne, there's no way in hell. I mean, it does a very good job for what it can do. I mean, the rug nozzle is pretty good. There's no way it's going to beat a vacuum with a power head, with a brush roll. For example, my Rainbow would run laps around a Model 51 Aerodyne. That's just a fact. And I'll read this little paragraph here. It says a hose and nozzle is fine for sucking up loose dirt from bare floors and upholstery. Well, that's true. I mean, bare floors, of course, just needs suction, airflow. Don't really know a whole lot. But dirt buried deep down in heavy rug fibers resists even the most powerful suction. This hidden dirt dulls colors, harbors germs and moths, and cuts away at the nap. A plain suction cleaner just plain can't get out the dirt that hurts. It isn't engineered to do the job. And you think, what's it engineered for? Well, probably quick cleanups, spare floors, stuff like that. It ain't designed to, clean, deep down. So, that little Hoover porta power there, ain't gonna cut it. You need something like an upright. Or a canister with a power head. It says gentle vibration brings buried dirt to the surface, where suction can whisk it away. At the same time, sweeping gets stubborn pet hairs, grooms, and erects the nap. And Hoover stands up to you. No bending over and bearing down as with a hose and nozzle. Ask your Hoover dealer to demonstrate the ease and thoroughness of triple action cleaning on your own rugs. Oh, so I'm guessing maybe at this time, this vacuum was still, I guess they were still going door to door with these machines. So I'm pretty sure that they were starting, I would guess that they were getting ready to go to retail with these Hoovers instead of door to door. There's an interesting ad. We didn't name this new Hoover the HandyVac for nothing. Look at that. Jeez, it can do a whole lot. You can do... Looks like the young lady has it in... Looks like she has it in some kind of portable canister mode. There's a dusting, crevices. There's a stick vac mode, portable canister mode. Stick, canister. That must be... So I'm guessing that's in the 50s. Well, no, maybe 60s. How the hell do I know? It's black and white. I don't know if it. I don't know. I'm not very good at judging hairstyles. You know, some people could look at a hairstyle and say, "Oh, that's so 50s." Well, of course, or that's so 60s because I don't know. Maybe they just know. Let's see what the next ad is. If I can even get it going. Now here's a Eureka ad. We see a whole bunch of Hoovers. You know, I think there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 6 Hoover ads in a row, and now we get the Eureka ad. This one's for the Hot Shot, a lean, mean, high performance machine. And no, that's not a George. That almost sounds like a George Foreman lean, mean. Sorry, you ever heard of George Foreman? Remember the old their old grills used to be called the lean, mean, fat reducing grill machine? I was trying to make that reference. And of course, as people say, you need to shut up. I pick on myself a little bit. It says, turn on the juice, shake dirt loose, clean it all, wall to wall. Won't cost a lot. Gotta what we've got. High performance hot shot. I don't know if that's supposed to be a poem or a rap or what, but it does rhyme a lot. Says you're going to want Hot Shot's 5.5 amp high performance motor, 4-position dial-and-nap, fiber groomer 2, chrome steel beater bar, brush roll, and edge cleaner. Hot enough for you? I would say, yeah, I'd say so. I mean, it's a Hot Shot. Not only that, but also considering the fact that it has a Vibro Groomer 2. If you heard of Vibro Groomer 2, you'll find them today on sanitary machines. I'm trying to see what. Oh, of course, it doesn't want to tell. Of course, I can't see what year this is. That's an old slogan. Eureka will sweep you off your feet. But I'm going to take a wild guess and say that this is from. I know it's from the late 80s. It looks like it's very late 80s because I can tell the old Eureka logo. I remember seeing that when I was a little kid, and I kind of missed that logo. I think this is maybe from 1988 or between 88 and 1990. As I can see the copyright says, the bottom identifies the company as the Eureka Company, a division of National. It sounds like it says. It looks like it says a Eureka Company, the Eureka Company, a division of National Utilities Electric Corporation. A division of National Utilities Electric Corporation. That's odd because I think at the same time, because I'm pretty sure Eureka was owned by AB Electrolux of Sweden. Because I remember that they later on changed the name to Electrolux Home Care Products North America. And just this year, apparently Electrolux of Sweden had sold the Eureka brand to a company called Medea Corporation. And so I'm not sure, what's going to happen with Eureka there. I guess they're going to keep it the same. I'm not sure. But I think I remember seeing a Hot Shot in person. I'm not sure. I think I saw it somewhere. I'm not sure. But this has to be like an old ad from the 80s or something like that. 80s, 90s. Probably very early 90s. But it's pretty cool. And there's an ad for Eureka Ultra. You've probably seen something like this before. Maybe the first video I did with the Back Game Archive, Facebook page. We've seen this before. This is one of the ESP uprights, which ESP, sounds really cool. Like really, really powerful. And this is I think this says 1985. I believe it says 1985. And it still says Eureka Company, Division of National Union Electric Corporation. Yeah. But that must be, okay, so that must be an older one. Because this one is probably a little bit later. Because this is 1985. I think it says 1985. It says Eureka gets dirt you can't see. This must be like 1989, maybe 1990. Yeah, like a little bit later ad. But this is from the 80s. Um, this is before the Bravo. They released the Bravo and the Victories. This may have been their answer to the Elite as well. But this is kind of a rare. This is a pretty rare vacuum to find, and if I ever find one, I am definitely purchasing it, and I will find out what bag it takes, and definitely stock up. There's the boss, and not just any boss. It's the ESP boss. It's the boss that cuts cleaning time in half. Eureka extra suction power lets you vacuum twice as fast and still pick up as much dirt. And the boss is Eureka's lowest priced ESP vac. No frills, just 50% more power to get more dirt in less time. With the boss, you can afford to cut your cleaning time in half. For the dealer nearest you, call 1-800-525-9991. Now, of course, I don't know if that number even works. Your best bet is to call 1-800-282-2886 or just look up eureka.com and I guess look up the dealerships if they have dealerships. I'm not sure how that would whole work since Eureka got sold off from Electrolux to some company called Media Corporation, whatever. But yeah, this was actually the earliest. This is I think the Boss was kind of like the economy line of Eureka vacuums, and this was also an ESP apparently, and I guess was the bottom line of ESP. Not saying this ESP was bad. I mean, if you had a vacuum and it's Eureka upright and it's an ESP, that's pretty good because cause that means it's got a lot of power to it. I think this is ESP. This I think is just HP, not ESP. So this would have more power than this, I would think. But I'm not sure if this would have more power than this one, or if they're both equal. But it is kind of interesting because I think because of all the boss uprights I've seen, the boss upright like the traditional, bag in the back F and G. The ones I've seen, especially the ones I've seen since I was a kid, none of them looked like this. None of them were the ESP model. So this must be the earliest boss model that they had, or one of the earlier ones. Again, Boss was an iconic brand that they had, and I'm not even sure if Eureka makes Boss vacuums anymore. I'm not sure. Hell, I'm not sure. I know they had the Boss Smart Vac, but I guess like for the longest time, the Boss model line was big, and I think it's because they were like the bottom line. Well, I shouldn't say bottom line because that makes it sound bad. I guess they were kind of like the economy line of Eureka uprights. They were basically the more basic models. Like if you bought a Excalibur, but if you bought the Boss an Excalibur Boss or a Eureka the Boss Excalibur, it was more the one on the more of no frills, just more basic. But it's still pretty good. Like if I could find one, I would definitely get it. This must be an. Oh, this is an earlier ad. Eureka Williams Company. Yep, this is definitely older. Definitely much older. Oh yeah, well yeah, of course it's much older. It's 1976. This is before I was born. These are pretty damn old vacuums. I don't even know what models they are. I don't know what a fan jet motor is. Final temperature bag, whatever. Yeah, but those are the older Eureka models that, you know, back then they were still of good quality. Is there more? Oh, there it is. Yep, there's more. And of course, I can't even see what that ad is or what that print is. Oh, the Eureka Power Team. This must be one of Eureka's first Power Team canisters on the market. I guess it was the Rotomatic Power Team. Oh, Rainbow fans. If anybody has a Rainbow or is a big Rainbow fan, notice anything familiar? Yeah, if you guessed the Powerhead, you're right. Actually, when I was looking through this, I recognized the Powerhead. I said, "Oh, that looks like an old Rainbow Powerhead, or an old Powerhead that Rainbow used." And I forget which model it was. I really want to say the D3, like the Rainbow D3. I'm not sure if it was probably the one that looked like R2D2, and that there was the first Powerhead that was offered by Rainbow. Yeah, but it was actually a Eureka design, and it was a pretty damn good one. But I think the only difference is I think this one might have had maybe this one's wand setup was different. Um, where this Rotomatics hose, excuse me, is not only wire reinforced but it's also electric, like a wire reinforced electric powerhead. Whereas the Rainbow D3 and I think the D4C up until the D4C, I think that was they had a wire reinforced hose, but it was not electric. Like so, the power for to use the power head, it had a really long cord, kind of like the one that had the power head for my Rainbow. Um, Obviously, the cord is really really long, and I think it was meant for D4C or not the SE model because my SE Rainbow SE has a wire reinforced electric hose. But anyway, I think this is one of Eureka's earlier models that had a power head, and of course that helped, kind of helps bridge the gap, or at least started to bridge the gap between uprights and canisters. Because back, of course, for the longest time, you know, you pretty much had a choice, like before, many years back, maybe the 50, 50, 40s, 50s, 60s, something like that. You would have like your uprights, like this one for your uh, carpets and rugs, and then you'd have a canister vacuum for maybe your bare floors and your furniture or your above floor cleaning. And sure, they had uprights that had attachment kits, but like I said, like I explained in the previous beta, or maybe try to explain, attachments like above floor cleaning was not an upright strong suit because the way it was designed, the airflow would be would be not be optimal for use for above floor cleaning. So people would have an upright to clean their carpets and their maybe if they had area rugs they use that, and then for your let's see if I can find a picture of a canister. And it's not a standalone canister. Well, we just use Porta Power example. So like these an upright, and then they'd have maybe a full size canister with a straight suction nozzle, but they would probably use that for your stairs, your bare floors, maybe low cut carpeting. But I would say even with low cut carpeting, a straight suction nozzle is not going to cut the mustard if it comes to really deep down cleaning. But as time went along, I think the Dial-O-Matic was starting to bridge that gap because the Dial-O-Matic was a Clean Air upright, and it did have an attachment kit, and it was kind of like a hybrid between an upright, traditional upright and traditional canister. Like a traditional upright, it would have a brush roll, and you'd use it to clean your carpets and air your rugs. But at the same time, it was powerful. The way it was designed, it could clean your your bare floors. It could clean your stairs. Mostly clean your stairs and probably your upholstery. Later models would have an on and off switch, so you could use, to turn the brush roll on and off, so you could use it to clean your bare floors and, maybe more delicate rugs. But anyway, that's what I figured I'd show you. That's all the ads that the Vacuum Archive has so far for new. If he posts more ads, I will do another video. Feel free to rate, comment, subscribe. Don't mind me rambling on. Again, I don't use a script for this, so it's kind of like an unscripted sort of thing. So just things that come into my mind, I try to say it. So try to bear with me with these videos. But also feel free to like the Vacuum Archive on Facebook, and also subscribe to its YouTube channel. I'm not sure if it's a guy. I'm sure it's a guy who's, probably it's a group of people. Well, anyway, feel free to like the Vacuum Archives page on Facebook. Subscribe to their YouTube channel. They have a bunch of vacuum advertisements on YouTube that are, that you might like to watch if you're into vacuum cleaners like I am. Now we'll do more videos sometime in the future. I have to watch after my brother's dogs starting Thursday through Sunday, so I might not be able to do videos until then. But anyway, feel free to rate, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna go to bed, so you guys have a nice night.